Okay, we're back at it again today. Got some more progress on getting this CNC lathe converted over to use the Centroid control. So today we're going to go through the spindle. And the spindle, it wasn't exactly straightforward, but after you read the manual a couple of times, it's like, oh, okay, all of this makes perfect sense. So let's just start one at a time here. This A1 connector right here puts out 24 volts, and you bring that down onto the common rail for inverter reset common. And then I also put it on spindle direction right here. You need to have that in those two places, because this spindle direction NO and NC, actually those are, what those mean is forward and reverse. I don't know why they didn't write it as forward and reverse. But these two blue and yellow wires, they come up here and they plug into one, back there, they plug into 1 and 2. On this machine, to drive these contactors here, these two contactors are what actually drive the system, or actually drive the VFD. And it's these relays over here that control I believe this is high and I believe this is low. And those drive these two contactors down here. So what I had to do was I had to bring 24 volts up to the A1 side of this relay here. And you can get to, and I brought that from my 24 volt positive bus over here. I brought up 24 volts positive. And then through my spindle enable, I brought in the ground. So the 0 volt side comes in here, and then this side here comes over to the A2 side of that relay. And that allows you to drive this contactor. I also created a crossover cable. If you want to get the spindle encoder to work, that is NC, this cable here, it's a CN6. And you do have to follow the pin out, but the pin out in the manual is accurate. And I'll kind of show you how I did that there. But yeah, everything seems to work. So let's go over the control and I'll show you what's going on here. So you know what? Let's go discuss the pinout real quick. So the spindle encoder pinout here, all of these pins are in fact accurate, and all you have to do is translate these pins here. So you translate these pins here to this Centroid oak pinout on the header that would go into your encoder 6 input, and you have to use encoder 6. It says this in a couple of times in the manual. You have to use 6 for the control, and then see if we can get a little demo here. So we've got our control. And I'm going to turn this out of auto, and I'm just going to turn it on. So right now it's at 143. So that's forward. Go ahead and stop that and go the other way. You can see that that's now spinning backwards. I don't know if you can tell in the video or not that it's actually spinning backwards. There you go. When it's slower, you can see it a little easier. Yeah, so right now I'm just waiting on my tuners to come, or the auto tuning to finish up the rest of the servo axes. The spindle, it was not that hard, but here are the connections that you need to make. All of them are called out in the manual. They're relatively simple, and I've got my spindle supply here and my spindle load meter here. Those come up to 17 and 13, I believe. And then here are the outs. The factory cable did plug into 23, and I had to plug it into 21 because that's what the manual said. I don't know if it's right, if I'm being totally honest. I can't see the load because I have no load to put on it right now. And then here is your, these are outputs from the inverter, and they come over here to your inverter OK signal. On this side of the control. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions, put them in the comments.